Hello dear fans. What is vacuum? The concept of emptiness, for all its apparent simplicity, is very complex and ambiguous. The answer to the question of what is emptiness is determined by the context in which it is posed. At first glance, everything is simple. Emptiness is a complete absence of what? For example, if there is no more coffee left in the coffee can, the can is said to be empty. But this is not the case. The can is filled with air. You can tightly close the jar and pump out the air from it, but even then it will not become completely empty. The fields will continue to act in it, gravitational, magnetic, and although they are not matter, they represent a form of existence of matter. This state of affairs makes one think about the fundamental possibility of the existence of emptiness. Torricellian vacuum. Nature abhors a vacuum. This dictum of Aristotle, for many centuries, was an axiom for science. One of his confirmations was the principle of the pump. When the piston rises, a void forms under it. Nature seeks to immediately fill it with something, so water rushes behind the piston. To a certain extent, this principle worked. But in 1640, the Duke of Tuscany wanted to decorate the garden of his palace, located on a hill, with a fountain. Water was supposed to be pumped from a pond, which was located at the foot of the hill. Despite all the efforts of the masters, the water from the fountain pipe never came out. No one could understand what was happening. After all, the fear of emptiness was supposed to drive water to any height. 3 years later, the court mathematician E. Torricelli explained the reason for the failure with the help of a well-known experiment. A tube containing mercury is overturned into a cup of mercury. Living metal drops slightly, forming a pillar, and above it a void, called Torricellian. Thanks to this experience, not only atmospheric pressure was discovered, but also the idea of the mythical fear of emptiness was refuted. True, the Torricellian void was also not completely empty. It was filled with vapors of mercury, but this was enough for its time. A void may well exist in nature. Emptiness from the point of view of different sciences. Given the ambiguity of the concept of emptiness, each science puts its own meaning in this word, and there are even different terms for denoting emptiness. One of these terms is vacuum, which means empty in Latin. This is the name of the space where there is no substance, but there are fields. A technical vacuum should be distinguished from a physical vacuum, a space filled with a highly rarefied gas. This happens, for example, in cathode ray tubes, a vacuum cleaner, or in vacuum packaging for food. In astronomy, the term void, which is also translated from English as emptiness, denotes a space where there are no stars or galaxies. But even such a space is never completely empty. It can contain protogalactic clouds, as well as dark matter. There is also a concept of emptiness in computer science. In another way, it is called a null pointer and is a variable that does not refer to any object. Thanks for watching.